No. It's like, come on.
Here's this nice foam one. You can try that.
But that's the thing. You're running through the house. You're getting beat, and retaliation isn't even in your mind. It's your mother. You're not gonna,
exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
And it's like...
you probably deserved it anyway, so you should sit there and take it.
That and then some. That's what it was like growing up in an Italian household. I think probably some other types of households, too, were kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple different nationalities. The implement, the utensil might change slightly, but for the most part, there was some type of impact involved there.
Okay, yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah,
we've all been through that.
That reminds me. I gotta hook up with a Snap-on truck. That mop,
I'll see if it's in the catalog. I got a guy.
Yeah, I know. Johnny Wrench tried to use it for a pry bar last night.
Right.
So it's kind of gone now, but that's all right. That Snap-on stands behind this stuff, so we're okay.
Yeah.
And talking about people who use tools quite a bit, our friend and Renaissance man Christian from Mock Modified Performance called to match whips with any form of programming I've ever done. I wonder if he's hiring for side work.
Let's go see. I see Christian's in the back. He's over there with the Crown Maple Syrup. So let's see if he's got that going.
Maple syrup.
Christian!
Hey, Christian, what's going on, man?
Talk to us.
Oh, not much. Forgot what I was going to talk about.
Oh, good. You're just like us then.
I'm still having those brain farts lately.
Absolutely.
Cranial flatulation, yes.
And I haven't been using too much 2+2 lately.
Oh, good.
Usually that'll do it.
Absolutely.
No, you were talking about scanners. I was just thinking in my head, I remember when I worked in the dealership back in the day, in Freeport with the motorcycles, we had Aprilia, which was an Italian company.
Right.
And they started coming out with these fuel-injected scooters, two-strokes, 50cc two-strokes. And because the European models and stuff, they come in homologated. Phenolic. Okay.
Phenolic.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Right now, I'm already a little off this morning. But I remember, when they came out with the fuel-injected models, I said, how are we going to work on these things with, codes and all this stuff? I still have it. I'm going to send you a picture. I got to pull it out of my archive. I have it packed away. But believe it or not, they supplied us with it was a cartridge. It was a game cartridge that fit into a Game Boy. And we used the Game Boy to scan and flash the ECUs and the scooters.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll have to pull that out, and then you can put that on the
Italian-Japanese Cooperation Act.
What year was that, Christian?
2002. I think they started using a VDO ECU. They were getting away from Morelli. Oh, no, maybe it was Morelli. You got to remember, when I was doing a lot of fuel injection stuff, when I first started in the motorcycle industry, everything was still on floppy disk,
Yeah, probably 5 1/4.
Yeah, it was pretty basic analog stuff, too. We used to have, these boxes with dip switches and, flash. You had no idea what you were doing. It was luck of the draw. You put a pipe on a motorcycle and you hit a couple dip switches and you're low, medium, high. It was very basic. But the Game Boy option was great because you would take a little panel off the handlebar of the scooter and there was a little plug and you plug your Game Boy in. I'd reflash the ECU right from Italy to the United States. You take a 50cc scooter, you go from 2 horsepower to 7 horsepower.
Wow.
Because they had to be 2 horsepower when they came into the country.
Did you have to do the olive oil upgrade for the crankcase?
You had to do they were inside the airbox. They used to have a restrictor, and then they had it was a CBT, so it was a belt drive and had a little pulleys and stuff. They had a washer, so you would just blow off the one pulley, take the washer out, and then that would allow the belt to go up a whole nother ratio.
Oh, cool.
But the thing was at the dealership, what I would do is I would take the washer out and the restrictor out of the out of the intake and everything, and then I would roll the scooter out, and the guy would be like, yeah, and I'd be like, oh, wait a second. I'd come out with my Game Boy, I'd plug the Game Boy in, and I'd be like, hold on, bing, 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 okay, go ride it.
And he thought you were just playing games.
No, yeah, and then they go out and they ride it, and they come back, and you're like, what did you do? Hey, here's $20. I'm like, thanks, dude, see you later.
Yeah. And I think I just saw Christian pass that $20 to the barmaid over there as a tip, even though it's an open bar.
Yeah, well, you got to take care of your service there. You want to make sure that the drinks, they don't hit the water button too much.
True.
On the dispenser there.
I got to tell you, Joe, I started working at the shop with the boys this year, pretty heavy, and I found myself...
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I found myself not working exclusively on hot rods like I thought I was going to do when Mike asked me to do a little routine maintenance on one of the shop trucks. And the lesson here is that I need to, I think, look more and hammer less. Let's see how that worked out.
Yeah, let's...
And you are back with the Motor Mouths, listening to Furlise. No, that's not Furlise. That's track 10. Well, we screwed it up again. It's okay. The pooch got another go-around. That's quite all right. That's the way things work here. If we can't bend it, break it, or burn it, we will somehow obliterate it into the stratosphere, and then we'll make it work again later. So we're back. Joe, I wanted to tell you another story that was kind of interesting. I had to...
What's that, right?
I was tapped on the shoulder to do a brake job. He says, would you like to do a brake job on the van today? I'm like, why not?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got this text. Yeah,
you remember the van, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this Ford E350, 12, 15, 30 feet long thing.
The BFV edition.
Lots of lug nuts.
Van.
Yeah, big, heavy van. Swing the thing. This was Wednesday when it was like 70 degrees. I'm like, okay. I swing it around to the shop, and I'm like, wow, all the bays are full. I'm like, all right. So here I am thinking, boy, I'm so happy I'm finally working in a shop that has lifts. And I'm going to do this van on a floor jack on the ground outside, right?
Back to basics.
So, okay. So I said, that's not above me. It's not below me either. So I said, no problem. I'll just get it high enough just to get that wheel off. There's no Superman here. I'm the old guy, right?
Yeah.
So I do that, and I work on the left side first, and I can't get the wheel off. It ain't coming. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me go to the left side. Let me see what happens over there. And I'll wait for Mike Jr. to come back, get the young gun in to help me out. So I go to the left side, and of course, zip, 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 zip. I count the lugs, 8 of them there. So the left side, take it all apart, get the caliper off, bracket off, the whole 9 yards. Everything is rusty, but I get it off. Mike comes back, and I said, hey, listen, you got to help me on the right side here. I can't get this rim off. I was hitting it with the dead blow. I started with a 2x4.
Right.
And I'm dead blowing it at the rim tire interface. Mm-hmm. Whack, whack, whack. So now I got whack, 2 2x4s. So I take a half of that one, whack, whack. Oh, now I have 3 2x4s, whack, whack. Now I got 4 pieces of 2x4. I'm like, pfft. So Mike shows me a body shop trick. He wraps the dead blow hammer in a towel.
Okay.
Goes, this is how we do it in the body shop. And he lays down under the front of the van, and he starts hitting it from the back as I'm spinning it in the front. So
right.
It just always works. I saw it move just a little bit, but it just wasn't coming off. Like, Minky, what the hell is going on with this wheel? Like somebody welded this thing on. Then he looks over and he says, are all the lug nuts off? I'm like, yeah, good. And I look, there was one lug nut.
4, 5, 6, 7.
The rim was black. The lug nuts were painted black. That was the problem. Everything was black. I was like, you're not going to... I take the gun, take it off. The wheel fell off, and I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, I tell you what.
Hashtag duh.
I said, I tell you what. You know what? I'm too old,
dude. I've done that myself.
Proud.
Yeah, dude. You know? I've done this myself. Except I was lucky. Nobody was looking.
Well, that's why I say, hey, listen, Motormouth Radio. We fall on our swords. Yeah. We will do that so that someone else can make. Just a caveat to the story. That's the real main story there.
Pay attention.
Yeah,
there are no cars out there, to my knowledge, that have 7 lug wheels.
No, Joe, there are not. But
you never can tell when they're going to slip them by you.
Absolutely.
And of course, you found it.
Yeah.
But it's like everything else with this stuff. You have to be on your toes, and I'm talking about diagnostics. Same thing.
Yeah.
When you're talking about diagnostic mode 6, I reveal some of my true inner language talents that I possess.
It's one of my favorite bits. Let's see what Joe knows.
But mode 6, if you are lucky enough to have a scan tool that could read it, and depending on that scan tool, whether it translates it into human language or you could actually understand hexadecimal, because I don't.
Right. But you do understand Vulcanian.
That's Slavic Plavik Slavikam.
Right.
And, nobody's perfect.
Well, that's why, we hand Joe these little multicolored pieces of wood, and he can read them. He puts them in some drive that reads them, and he says, oh, yes, I got the data.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad thing, because sometimes interacting with regular humans,
I know. That was the true nature of Joe D's Diagnostics, folks. You got to see
Regular
these
humans.
Absolutely. So now we go back to our good friend Carl Anthony again. Look, this was a real love fest, Joe. When Carl, we were just like throwing back and forth the big love for each other.
I know. It was like, get a room.
Yeah, and I still don't know what he sees in us, but let's see what he had to say. We have an hour a week to get our information out, which sometimes isn't enough. But you at automoblog.net, you guys, you and your team put out the most amount of pertinent information in the automotive world that I have seen in a while, and I want to commend you again for doing that, because you really do succinctly put out some great stuff.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Talented team.
Well, tell our listeners, how do you do that? How do they, how does an entity like that come about?
So what we do is, we started the site back in 2006 as a way just simply to write about our love for cars. Chris, who's my partner in the site, Chris Burdick, he wanted to build websites and he liked cars, and that's how it started. We just were a group of car guys that loved writing and communicating about cars, and it grew from there. And really our growth has happened really exponentially in the last 3 years, where we've become more involved in the automotive industry with the manufacturers, with the smaller companies. And we've always said that with regard to Automoblog, we'll talk to anybody. So no company is too big or too small. If they're in the automotive world, we want to meet them. We want to tell their story. And
I was going to say, that's
right.
Joe said, yeah, proven by the point that you will actually talk to us.
Well, we're thrilled to be part of with you guys. I mean, man, we look up to you guys so much. I mean, you guys have been in the business a long time, and so we're really glad to be here and be part of this with you guys.
Well, anytime. Like car guys, we all have a sense of people, but you also have a sense of a business entity too, and you say it's going to be good or it's not going to be good. So,
right. The radar goes up.
Yeah, definitely. And the radar was up that day, Joe.
Yeah, scanning the skies for more information there. Well, speaking of scanning the skies, we found a tool dealer.
Yes, we did.
Our newest tool dealer friend, Brian from Matco in Maryland, called to talk about new tool trends, and that revealed my surprising choice of air gun tool covers.
We do put it out on the line here. Let's see what Joe's tool trend was. I know some of the tool brands have done this, and I'm a big fan of it, even though I don't own any. But some of the companies have been laser etching the sizes on the sockets and the wrenches, or somehow indicating the size bigger than my dopey eyes can see. Is Matco doing that at all, or is it?
Yes. We've done it on our sockets for the last 20 years, and we actually just started with. We have the traditional gold color, basically color that it is, and now we've just started with the neon green and orange.
Ooh. Neon
orange.
Yeah, that's popular.
So that you can have with matching air tools, because we have our air tools in three colors. Neon green and the bright orange and maroon.
Okay.
Designer tools.
Well, this way, too, if a guy like you, Doug, you got orange, and John's got green, and I got nothing, mine's just the old style, you can tell whose is whose. And like, hey, give me back that air gun. Get over here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of my biggest questions when somebody comes out. If I have a deal on something and everybody's coming out to the truck to get something, first question is there any different color? Because, you get 3 or 4 guys with the same thing. Somebody seems to lose it and steals it from the other guy, and it's a whole
to be cool,
ordeal.
I guess if the tool companies now had, say, you can usually take the cover off the gun, maybe just make a line of covers, like cell phone covers. Yeah, I get the zebra stripe one, you get the polka dot one, Joey gets the...
My Little Pony.
Is it My Little Pony? And now we know what the secret was to Joe's tool supply. Why no one takes your tools.
That's right. They get scared. They're like, wait a second, this is a little too perverted, even for me.
Right.
So they kind of just step back.
Well, the other surprise I got to tell you about was just a couple months ago. Sometimes even our guests get sandbagged on Motormouth Radio.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And we're sure that Dougie from the UD wasn't expecting to hear this voice.
Oh, no, not this one.
Not on the other end of the line by a long shot, but it was a great call, so let's visit it. Well, his phones are on fire. Let's go back to the line and see who's on with the Motormouths.
Hi, how are you? This is Laura. Who's this?
I'm Ray, Laura.
And I'm Joe.
Hi, Ray. This is Dartboard Doug's wife.
Oh, just
Mrs. Dartboard.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Johnny.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you were putting me right on. I wanted to mess with.
No, you're live on the air.
Yeah, say hello. What's
Well,
all
I
right?
got a question for you.
Okay.
Sure. Bring it on.
Well, what I had in mind, first of all, was the suicide mission, and that was to change the color of his 67 Chevelle from Tahoe turquoise to Marina blue to match the 65 Corvair that he's doing right now.
Well, kudos